Coming up in this episode of What's Up with Robin Downs, I'm covering Film Life's 19th annual American Black Film Festival, which took place between June 11th and the 14th, 2015. I was so delighted to be on the scene, checking out the movies, networking, and attending panels such as how to create and monetize a successful web series.
Please do one thing, download the BE Events app, trip for two to the 2016 20th anniversary of ABFF. We want to thank Comcast, NBC Universal for sponsoring this session and ABFF. Now I would like to introduce Keisha Boyd, Executive Director of Multicultural Consumer Services, Comcast, NBC Universal. Thank you.
The ABFF folks have curated a panel of really talented subject matter experts to really kind of lift the curtain on this thing called web series. I wonder if you can share a little bit about what you all think are some of the key ingredients to creating a successful web series. What do you think needs to be there?
I know for myself, I think vision of the very end, the final result. It's more than just kind of like, oh, I want to look pretty on screen and like make people laugh. I think it's like, what's the big picture? What's the story? What's the message I'm trying to convey? And where do I ultimately see this? And then definitely team. I wouldn't be able to create this web series or any of the shows that I've done within my production company, Jungle Wild. I wouldn't be able to do that at all without the right team. And that was a process of elimination sometimes. Sometimes I needed people that weren't so good, but at the end of the day, it was just about building the right people around me to kind of, just execute the vision that I had for it, and people that are passionate about doing this unique work, because it's a unique space. It's like, it's a lot of trial and error. It's constantly learning. And that's what I find.
An audience, you have to reach that audience digitally. I mean, I think that's, it became so clear to us over the past few years. And so, and if you want to make money off of what you were doing, the web created entrepreneurial opportunities. And as we've seen, more and more advertisers are going online. And if you want to be where the future is and not where the past is, you have to be a digital content creator.
I think, and you've all kind of
said, you want to see something that feels different. You don't want to make TV. I think a lot of people make the mistake of trying to make a TV show on the internet, and we already have TV. So why are you trying to make another TV on something that's not TV? And I think that's the people who always fly, or the people who just do, like you said, originality, or have something that's relatable or personal, and that's it. That's just across the board, unless you're doing sci-fi or some kind of other genre.
From an African American, Hispanic, interracial, et cetera, ethnic perspective, you can't move.
And truly, we've never really been alternative programming. That's a story that they sold us because we had no way to connect to each other. Now that we have Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all the new social medias that are popping up, no one can keep us from each other anymore. No one can stop us from talking. All this whole, I like to say this whole law about Black people congregating. There is no law like that with the internet. We congregate as much as we want. We say how we feel, however we want to say it. And that's a lie that they told us that we're these alternate, we're this minority. We're not really. We're very powerful.
Look, I was interested, but I think the real opportunity of digital is that we can also be more entrepreneurial in digital than in any other space, right? I mean, the barriers to entry to create a web series, to distribute it on YouTube, to find an audience is so low, if not zero, online. And that hasn't been true in the history of media ever. I mean, there's never been a better time to be a content creator. Never in history, right? Because the tools to create it are essentially free. We have everyone sitting in this room has a tool to create it right now in our pocket. The methods of distribution are essentially free because we can all put it on YouTube before I even finish my sentence, right? So that's a
going up there right now.
Yeah.
and I think if you combine that also with our opportunity as Black content creators, this room is all of it, right? I mean, this is what we're doing because the world's not getting any whiter. So if you're a digital content creator,
Whiter or whiter?
whiter.
Both.
They got extinct, y'all.
Right? So I mean, this festival is a beautiful thing because we are no longer alternative programming. We are core programming and will continue to be more and more core. Media, that's not News One, that's Twitter saying 38% of users are African American, so you know they're undercounting. So think of the power. We had a staff of 4 folks, and we were all in the office, and we were just begging somebody to comment on the story.
Yeah.
We were like, can someone comment? We were literally like waiting for someone to just organically comment. And then it was probably, the sun had gone down, it was probably 10 o'clock at night, and I said, you just comment. So we faked it, and someone put a comment up in my office. So we actually all went home feeling a lot better, because we were like, I like this digital thing, I can do this. So I think that's still a thrill, I mean, we've all started, we've shared something that got no likes or no, right? That kind of sucks, like that just like, oh man. And we probably all had something we've shared that is, it's gone, maybe not viral, but certainly 10 people shared it, 50, 100, 1,000, 2,000. I created a site called Hello Beautiful a couple of years ago, which is, I probably wasn't courageous enough to call it Hello Sexy or anything. We just did Hello Beautiful. But, I remember when it was at 0, and we had about it, and you're very confident about it, and that's who you are. Whether it's naturally who you are, or you've created to be a persona you believe in, it's very believable, and that's the first thing, for sure. Because I think all of us now are inundated with all this media that we curate really quickly. I mean, my daughter, who's 12, she'll scroll through, she'll know what she likes and doesn't like without even listening to it, right? And so that screams so true. But I think the second part to that, because that's not enough, right? The second part to that is how you then market what you've done and how you distribute what you've done and how you can be an entrepreneur for yourself and promote yourself. And that's a whole different skill. And I think that's probably 75% of the success you see of web videos is that they've promoted themselves better than the next person. And not all creatives are good at promoting. Some creatives are horrible at promoting. Like, I just want to write it, shoot it, and I'm good. Like, I just want to walk away. And if that's the case, then you need to find someone who's a part of your company or a part of your kind of hustle that is good at that. Because if you don't have the latter, you could have the strongest, sexiest, most authentic story going, but nobody else.
No, it's so true. No, it's so true. The market, I think it starts with independent filmmakers. Independent filmmaking in general, if you're going to put out your own film, for wallet, whatever you're going to do, you have to be all those hats. You have to be a promoter, you have to be a writer, director, you have to be an editor. That's independent filmmaking in general. And not everybody can do it, it's very true. But if you are, that's what works for us. It's like Numa is a master at words, as you can see. And
just literally, having them sponsor an episode and having that whole dynamic going within our show that now we have product placement and now we're doing strategic type of marketing and all of that kind of stuff to go with the show. But like I said, we're in the beginning stages. It has been a lot of trial and tribulation or trial and error in the sense of like what works and what doesn't, what suits our audience, what makes us feel okay, because I'm still an artist, right? Like I'm not just whoring myself on the streets. So I have to just kind of figure out like what goes with the show and what I'm okay with doing. And because yes, you'll find companies that are willing to give you money, but it might come at a cost. Yeah, it might come at a cost. It might come at like, just cutting the overall vibe of my show or just the energy that I'm trying to put with it. And so to me, that's not necessarily worth it. I would rather kind of just chill and maybe give you half an episode versus, but that's just me and what I'm doing. But yeah, definitely crowdfunding has been a big help, and then sponsorships. Well, you mentioned that earlier.
Huge, more people will come out. When you withhold something and they want it, people will go get it in paper when you're saying it's valuable. You know what I'm saying? And when you say, oh, crowdfunding, hey, please come in, pledge, give your support, this and that, a lot of people will sit back, like a lot of us have, including myself, and just go, I'll just wait and let somebody else do it.
See if it gets funded.
Yeah, if it gets funded, I still get it and everything's good. But when you actually put it out for sale and say, no, you cannot have it unless you pay for it, people get off the pot and actually participate. Doesn't mean everybody, but a lot more than crowdfunding, period. So just that step of just putting yourself out there and saying this is valuable, as you were saying, and selling something like everybody else does in the world. Everybody buys something for their life, or rents something, or subscribes to something to support their life. You just become part of that lifestyle. You will make more money, period.
thing about what you're saying, though, is that's kind of a shift, and I agree with you and I support it because it means that digital content does have value. Right? There's this whole thing, everybody wants everything on the internet for free and no one on the internet's ever going to pay for anything. That's not true. I mean, we have expectations for what is free, but we also, if we want it bad enough, to your point, will pony up 99 cents or $1.99 or whatever it is, because we are spending money, for sure. We just have to make sure that we're spending something on something that we want, and we have to make the audience kind of want it. But I think the second point, I think that's important, is because you're talking about branded entertainment, which is essentially when an advertiser comes in and pays you for content. It's often called native advertising. And I think, what we should be careful about is making sure you don't, really kind of poison or pollute what your creativity is. But that doesn't mean you have to say no to that advertiser. If an advertiser or a sponsor or a brand, whether it's McDonald's who's backstage or whoever it may be, is interested in what you've created, the quick kind of flip or hustle can be, hey, this is actually not for sale, but here are the 2, 3, 4 other things that are. And if you love black actress, how about I sell you brown actress? So whatever it is. Because you're in a conversation.
For more information, go to ABFF.com. Make sure to download the Black Enterprise Events app and network with Robin Downs, because coming up is Focus Fridays with Yoga Flavor, where I'm going to be giving you the healthy and spiritual perspective of the American Black Film Festival's attendees. Let's focus.